Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm the Crafty Quinn. My name is Megan, and today I have for you some Valentine's Day tiered tray DIYs. I've been excited to share these with you, so without further ado, let's get started. So first we have here a cute little sign, literally, and I'm using mostly materials that you can find at Dollar Tree's regular Crafter Square section, with the exception of that heart lace that you see above there. That is one of Dollar Tree's new Valentine's Day products. So in this video, I'm using mostly things that you can find day to day at the store, adding in some exceptional few items that are new this season. So as you can see, for the first step that I did here, I did just go ahead and put some antique wax with a makeup wipe on this crate and just did that kind of quickly, and it was enough to cover it completely. And I painted that cute, literally cute, wood sign and just hot glued everything down. And just like that, this one is done. This DIY is super quick. I tried to keep most of today's DIYs on the quicker side because they are for a tiered tray. And I have to say, this is actually my favorite one of the whole video. So for this next one, jumping right in here, you're going to need 3 of these little tiny clay pots, and I like to use these for almost every spring season, I swear. So you may have seen these in my former, from last year, Easter video, and I made these cute little carrot patch pots, so I will link that for you guys to check out as Easter is coming up very soon. So I am just painting these pots with I think it was just a paint color from Michael's that I got, but I show it in the next screen. But I just gave all of them one coat thick enough to cover all of the pots. And this is a really, really simple DIY as well. I was thinking about maybe printing out some Cricut phrases and things like that, but I decided not to. So this is the color that I used. So once all of those are painted, just the outside and the tops, I did take some Spanish moss from Dollar Tree and just put some in there like so. I didn't hot glue it down or anything. It's literally just sitting in there so you can reuse it for another project. So Spanish moss, it always gives me a tough time. So I've just kind of decided to just start cutting it down. I don't know how you guys separate your Spanish moss from the bag, but I find it's just easier to just cut it. So next I actually took toothpicks, and that really helped these Dollar Tree foam flowers that are new this year for Valentine's Day stick in that clay pot quite well, and just also helps me position them better to where I like them. So just like that, one pot is completely done, and then the next you're gonna need these little picks, these heart picks, and I have 2 different kinds here. They're both from Dollar Tree's new Valentine's Day section. So I just kind of figured out which sizes I wanted them to be and just kind of cut them down, but mostly eyeballed it. And I was cutting them. I thought when I first got this, when I first picked it up at the store, I thought they were on like plastic straws or something, but it turns out that they are wooden picks. So then I eventually realized I could just snap them in half to get them to the size that I wanted. So I'm only going to stick 3 of these heart picks into this little pot because the pots are very, very small. You really can't fit that many in there anyway. So you just want to get it to your liking, get the position of the hearts where you like it. And eventually I realized that, you know what, maybe I need to go back, add a little bit more Spanish moss inside these pots just to kind of cover up those sticks a little bit more. But there's just so many different options that you could do with these pots, and I just like that they are just very kind of flexible. So next I'm using these even tinier little heart picks for the 3rd pot, and that was another thing I just realized you can just snap them in half because they're just really thin wooden sticks. So I kind of tried to do I kind of tried to space out the colors. Like I didn't want too many of just one particular color, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do 1 of each color, and then I need 3 more, so I'm gonna kind of follow the same process and kind of make it even out, but at the same time make it look like they're not all kind of on top of each other at the same time. So you kind of have to space it out a little bit just where you like them. And this was another one where I think I went back and I did add a little bit more Spanish moss because I felt like the clay pot was not full completely. So all of these stay in the little pots very well. Like I said, no hot gluing is needed. I didn't feel like it was, especially not if I plan to reuse all of these materials for future projects. And then once they're all done, this is where I have them. I have them at the very top of my tiered tray, and I use those little grapevine hearts from last year's Dollar Tree Valentine's Day section. So this is just your quick reminder to subscribe if you're not already. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at @thecraftyquinn. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below what is your favorite DIY. So on to the next craft here. So this is another item that I find a lot when I go to Dollar Tree. I don't know if you guys have seen this as well, but these adorable little house signs, and I pick them up when I see them because I've seen them in different sizes, and I just feel like they're great for so many different projects. And so I took obviously the felt flowers off. That's what you saw me first doing there. And then I did sand down using my finger sander, which I have linked for you down below. I sanded off all of the words that were on there and just kind of a little bit of the paint too. This green color is a folk art color actually that I think I got it from, maybe I got it from Hobby Lobby. I don't quite remember, but it is folk art. And since I can't remember the name of the paint color, I will also write that down below in the description of this video. So these are the stencils that I was posting about on social media the other day on my Instagram account. So that's why it's definitely important to follow me, you guys. I give previews for what videos I'm going to be doing next, so definitely check me out over there. But these are the stencils that I found on Amazon, and these are actually glass etching stencils, so they're adhesive and they're reusable, and then you just kind of, you know, keep using them for whatever project you want. I had a very particular vision in mind for this craft, so I was looking for a certain stencil, and so that's why you see me, you know, doing this, but it was the best stencil that I could find for the kind of craft that I wanted to do. So I'm like, you know what, these are adorable. They have many different, you know, sayings and things like that. I could use them for so many other things. So I thought it was just a really good stencil pack to have for Valentine's Day. So I'm taking more of that paint color that I've been using for my project so far. I took Dollar Tree's tiniest little sponge brush that I could find and just kind of dabbed across each row, and then I just kept repeating that pattern, but I would pull up the stencil before the paint dries, and that's super important, so that way it doesn't pull the rest of the heart design with it. And what's great about this being adhesive is a lot of paint does not bleed through like with other stencils if you have to tape it down. I've had that problem a lot, so I've learned my lesson, and I stick mostly now to adhesive stencils because it's just so much easier. So I am taking my finger sander again, and I am giving this more of a faded vintage look. I wanted this to kind of look distressed. I also kind of wanted it to look kind of store-bought, I guess, but having that, I don't know, that vintage feel at the same time, like you've had this a while or something. So I sanded down everything, and I even sanded down over the hearts, and then this is how it came out, and I love this project a lot. So for this next one, so we have tons. I think we have about 7 projects in this video, and this is that green color that I was using before. And I guess you can kind of tell by now that I'm sticking to a certain theme, a certain color scheme, if you will. I'm definitely sticking with a light pink, with a green, and with some browns this year, and I felt like it was a great color combination, and so I was really excited to use it, and my favorite color is green, so it was a great excuse to use this. So this is another one of Dollar Tree's just regular items that you can find in the Craft Your Square section year-round. But this Valentine's Day sign is something that came out this year, but they always have a sign that has like a metal heart on it. So I always get those signs so I can take off those metal hearts. But this wooden heart is one of Dollar Tree's wooden heart cutouts from this year. I didn't see this last year, so I think they are just a new item that they have in most stores now if you have a larger Dollar Tree Valentine's Day craft section. So I am distressing this with that Waverly Antique Wax that I've been using for the other projects, and I just kind of go around the edges with a brush, and the kind of brush that I'm using for this is actually technically considered a stencil brush, but I like to use it for most of my distressing project needs. So as you can see, that metal heart there goes on top of the white wooden heart here, and then I realized that I should put some hot glue, not just on the heart itself, but on the actual green crate or palette, whatever you want to call it. So that actually made it stick better. And I realized this would make an adorable little sign. So I did add a little twine handle to it. So it is a tiered tray item and a sign at the same time. So super cute. So next I'm using one of those brand new Be Mine candy hearts that Dollar Tree has right now in their Valentine's Day section. And I kind of left this double-sided, so it is a double-sided Be Mine sign, but I didn't like, so whoever, I guess, put the sign together, I don't know what to call it, but the sticker on the front of it was not quite even, so it was kind of, I don't know, sticking out, so that's why I was sanding that down a little bit. But as you can tell, I did paint this, just one side of it. I used 2 coats of paint, and now I'm distressing this because I want this whole thing to have that, like I said, vintage feel. So this heart lace looking pattern here, it looks kind of like a doily, but this was something that Dollar Tree had last year. It is a felt piece. I am taking my Antique Waverly wax and I'm just going over that lightly, just stressing it, but also just kind of trying to make it look older and worn out. And then I just took some twine, doubled it up, and made a bow and just hot glued everything together, and just like that, voila. So for the next item here, we have a little cube. I love to make little cubes. If you've been following me for a while, you know that this is one of my favorite items to make, and I try to do this almost every season, almost every holiday for my tiered tray. And I'm using that same pink color again, and this is another super easy DIY, and they're all kind of easy today. I kind of wanted them all to go quick, but also I think they're easier because they're, you know, kind of mini pieces. They're mini for a tiered tray, so I think that's why things are just kind of going at a quicker pace today. So these are all brand new wooden cutouts that Dollar Tree has out right now for their Valentine's Day decor. If your Dollar Tree has a large enough section to have all of these pieces. I do want to say that because I know that not everyone is able to find these. So I go to a larger Dollar Tree, so that's where I see most of these items, and that's why I feel like I have most items that a lot of people say they may not be seeing. So Dollar Tree tends to have 3 sizes of stores, a small, medium, large, and a large store is where you can find mostly everything that they plan to have out for that season. So I used Antique Waverly wax for all of these wood cutouts, distressed them, and now I'm doing the same thing to the rest of the cube, and I am distressing it completely every single side after I hot glued all of those wood pieces to each side of the cube, except for the bottom. I didn't bother putting one on the bottom of the cube because there was literally no point, and it would have kind of made it wobbly. So here I have it displayed on Dollar Tree's new ceramic heart stand. So I picked up one of those to go in my tiered tray so I could have a cube on it. And that is on the second layer of my tiered tray. So I always grab these foam dice. That's another thing that I always grab from Dollar Tree if I see them. And this can be found, these foam dice can be found in Dollar Tree's toy section. Because I've been able to, you know, find them sometimes, not find them other times. So I definitely want to make sure to point that out. So all I did was I did 2 coats of paint on each foam dice, and that was enough. There was definitely some parts where maybe I didn't go as heavy with the paint, but these really don't require too much effort. I mean, I just, for the sake of crafting, I do paint them, and then I use my hair dryer to dry them quickly just so I can keep going with the craft for the video. But like I said, I don't think they require too much paint to be completely covered. So 2 coats is plenty, and I'm using white Waverly chalk paint for these. So next I just stack the dice. Literally I do 2 columns, 2 each, and then I put it together, and then I like to do kind of a version of this also every season. I did a fall stack of these. I can link that video for you if you like, but that is something that I like to do, and I have a different kind of saying on each stack that I like to make. So this is fake, I guess faux pearls, and they're kind of flat, and this is a strand of those, and it's Dollar Tree actually. So I like to use that, and that kind of fits in with the bow that I made for the Dollar Tree gumball machine, which is at the top of my tier tray if you didn't see it. So I just followed a similar step, and I just layered ribbon all together and then tied it together in the middle with some twine. So super, super easy bow. Next, I'm doing that same technique again. This is a makeup wipe that I'm using to spread around that antique Waverly wax. And this is something that a lot of us crafters do. I feel like when one of us figures out a method, then we all start using it, because once we find an easier way to do something, then we all start doing it, because why not? So that is definitely something that you may have seen a lot of different crafters do. So after everything is stained with the antique Waverly wax, then you're just going to want to hot glue it. Everything stays nice with just hot glue. That's all you need. And then I decided to use a wood cutout for the O. Just like that, you have an adorable piece to add to the bottom of your tier tray or wherever. So now that everything has been added to my tier tray, I want to show you how I styled it all. So I took pictures from every different angle of this that I could, because I do have a bit of a tall tier tray, so I kind of had to stand back a little bit. But I hope you guys like how I put everything together. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and thank you so much for your patience on waiting for this next DIYs video to come out. So make sure to tune in January 18th for my next Valentine's Day video. So if you want to watch more videos, check them out here on the left, and let's keep in touch on Instagram. Thanks, guys.